They cannot submit a position paper if there is none. The problem is here is Meralco ERC has failed. They have failed to timely conduct and perform regulatory reset. The ERC is mandated every 4 years for DUs to set the regulatory reset proceedings. The problem is, you can see the NGCP and the Meralco waiting for these results because this particular process, because if there are no rules in the case of the DUs and the rules on the setting of the wheeling rate, there can be no process. They cannot submit a position paper if there is none. The problem is here is Meralco ERC has failed. They have failed to timely conduct and perform regulatory reset. And Commissioner Non was there during all this time. And then there has been no reset. How can we blame the regulated agencies like NGCP and the Meralco 8, the Group A, Meralco, Sipalco from the City of Golden Friendship, and the others, when there is no regulatory process? So therefore, in fact, ready always, and they have also filed when there is one, then they do it. Mr. Chairman, we are barking up the wrong tree if we are going to fault the regulated agencies like the NGCP and the Meralco. It is ERC. If there is any agency that we should fault here, and that's why if Chairman Dan Fernandez saying there is therefore, the consumers are therefore have the road deal here, it's not the fault. That's why the regulated agencies, they wait for this ESG. May I ask our chairperson, did we have really the process conducted for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th regulatory period?
Chairman Mona Lisa, you are recognized.
Mr. Chair, we are conducting the
On the 5th.
processes now.
Yes.
4th and 5th po sa NGCP and 5th
Fifth,
for
yeah.
Meralco.
Kasi lapse period na nga eh. Lapse period meaning, Mr. Chairman, that there is failure of the ERC and that's why they cannot comply. That is the actuality of this. But in spite of that, there was a IAC and there is a interim average rate. Meralco has already refunded a total of 48 billion because on their own, they came out and say, we would like to make sure already that there's already a interim rate, average rate. And so Meralco is always waiting for the regulatory agency. In spite of that, during the lapse period, they were the ones who were able to have the interim average rate, and the ruling of the ERC was for Meralco to refund, correct? They were made to refund. How much was refunded by Meralco in spite of the failure of ERC to be able to put up this particular regulatory reset process? How much? Nagbayad ng Meralco sa mga consumers.
Maybe we can ask representative from Meralco. Magkano po yung binayaran ninyo?
Your Honor, we refunded a total of around 48 billion pesos.
Billion.
Yes, Your Honor, as a result of the declaration by the ERC of the original lapse period, consisting of 7 years. And we are proposing to refund again another about 19 billion pesos for the latest, as a result of the latest declaration by the ERC that the 3 years of the original 5RP is declared lapse period.
So who was the chairperson at that time of ERC? The one who should be
Chairman.
calling the reset.
Ay, marami na pong chairs po pinagdaanan po. I think the first period was Chair Ducot, and then there was Chair Salazar, and then Chair Agnes.
No, but I think the issue here is not the first, the second. The issue is the 4th.
You should have been the one who should make sure to make them be penalized and then proceed with the reset process. Walang nangyari. Mr. Chairman? No, meeting with Mr. Non. As testified now, he was the one who said, let's have a meeting. No meeting at all. So that is why it is now many, many years, plus the 7 years, we add more years. And that is why this is the problem now. And to blame the NGCP who are just willing to go into this reset process because it's also for them. You know, for Meralco, a reset process may mean a higher rate. It may also mean a lower rate, but it has to be done, Mr. Chairman. And just to correct, the present rate now of Meralco is not 1.38 centavos. It is already 1.35. Hindi, wala na yun, Chairman, dan ang 1.38. Wala na yun. 52 na because there was a decision of the ERC. So that is why now the rate is lower than the 1.38 that you are saying. Just to make the matters May I continue,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman?
please continue, Congressman Rufus.
Yes. Chairman Dan talked about the WACC, that is the weighted average of cost of capital. You see, Mr. Chairman, the last approved WACC, and again, ERC is the, approved by ERC, was on the third regulatory period, and they set a WACC of 14.97. Mr. Chairman, in this particular case, this is much higher than the other, this is lower than the other 18 private DUs. If you can see the figures, Mr. Chairman, inaalaw lang sa kanila, yung weighted average of cost capital is 14.97. The second regular period for Group B was 16.27 as the WACC. And then also, we can see here, the second RP WACC for Group C, 15, inaalaw sila. Meralco, only 14.9. And from that time, Mr. Chairman, in 2011, the third RP, there has been no approved determination of WACC by the ERC. In other words, Mr. Chairman, we really urge the ERC to do all of this, and that is why Chairman Mona Lisa is here, and that is why we are very glad that you are now trying to have the reset by February for the NGCP. For the DUs, it will be June, correct? See? So, it will now solve all of this problem of the lapse area. We should also note, Mr. Chairman, that the current rate of Meralco now is among the record will show that the Meralco's 1.35 centavos is the 6th lowest among the 18 private DUs. And then, if we will talk about performance of Meralco, I will end here. The internationally recognized standard metrics to measure, because you're trying always to point to Meralco, then the NGCP, on Meralco first. The international recognized standard metrics to measure performance of DUs, distribution utilities, are what you call SAIFI, SAIFI, or B, SAIDI. Now, what is SAIFI? SAIFI, Mr. Chairman, is the system average interruption frequency. Ayan. What is the frequency of the Meralco in terms of this disruption of energy supply? And then SAIDI is the system average interruption duration index, number of minutes. Because you have to put the proper perspective. We're always pointing at Meralco. But look at this, Mr. Chairman. In 2023, because the records are for 2023, Meralco achieved a SAIFI or average interruption frequency of only 1.19 times. Only one time. Plus 0.19, not even 2 times for 2023. And that is why we are all served here, including those who are listening, that we only have 1.19 interruption. Now, let's go to minutes for 2023. So we will see whether we should penalize the Meralco. Mr. Chairman, in terms of SAIDI, that's number of minutes, the number of total minutes in 2023 is only 123 minutes, less than 2 hours. So what are we talking about? Why are we penalizing them when they have excellent service based on this? And therefore, this kind of performance of Meralco is at the top in terms, Mr. Chairman, of reliability, performance compared to other local private DOs, including, they are much better, including Veco, Visayas, Davao Light, and my city, Sipalco, the city of Golden Friendship. They are much better in terms of less interruption, less minutes being done. In fact, their performance of Meralco, Mr. Chairman, are better than those of the Pacific Gas and Electric Company, which serves Northern and Central California. So that is what it is, Mr. Chairman. And yet we're pointing and pointing. In fact, those that were brought about again here were fully ventilated in the Committee on Franchise, which heard Chairman Danny, and we heard everybody, and the body approved the renewal of the Meralco franchise. And in the case of NGCP, it is very clear in the hearings of Winter franchise, no violation at all by NGCP. No violation on the Constitution, no violation on the statutes, the anti-dummy law, no violation with franchise and its concession agreement. With that, I end, my dear Chairman of the Committee on Good Government. Let us have the author. The invitation for Mr. Pangilinan, I have a copy. We are not talking about franchises because we are not in good government. The allegation here, and I will read, the privileged speech required of the effects of the failure to conduct rate reset by the Energy Regulatory Commission. Sila, yung failure nila to conduct rate, and then here it is. The confirmation through a process. Here is where the good government comes in. Because we talk about jurisdiction here, and you have the jurisdiction, Mr. Chairman. Why? Because it says here, ito na, probable involvement of government officials, whether through negligence or fraud, and possible connivance of the other government market, of the other market players. And so therefore, it is some proof. What is the proof of this connivance? Because they will all be liable to the Ombudsman for anti-graft and corrupt practices. The ERC and the private together, under the concept of conspiracy, all of them will be recipient of cases and they go to jail. So may we know from the author, what is this possible connivance? Huh? So that we will be, we shall proceed with the good government and be able to have a ruling on this. Yes. Yan.